Don't you realize? Our parents, they want the best of stuff for us. It's our time.
I so much want your understanding. I want your respect.
Oh, come on. It can't be that bad. I'll do it with you.
Okay, potato chips, other salty snacks.
Good advice. That doctor obviously knows what he's talking about.
Butter, heavy cream, cheese.
Gone? Makes a lot of sense.
Alcoholic beverages.
Okay, that doctor's a quack.
I knew the food would be bad.
Sorry. You're unusually limber this morning. I'll say.
And then we practiced high kicks. Watch. You!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Melt Off Podcast. I am Urza Master.
And I'm Goonie Mama.
And this week we are going to kick things off right away with our weigh-ins and just an update there. Today I found that I was maintaining right at about 321. Last week I think it was at 320.4, 320.6, something like that. So my goal for my surgery was to roughly maintain or lose a little. So I've been able to do that. I've actually lost about 10 pounds since I started the program, 15 pounds. So smooth sailing there. How are things going for you, Goonie Mama?
Yeah, so this morning I weighed in at 256, which is a little bit up from what I've been previously weighing in at. And I just want to stress the importance of weighing yourself every day because your weight does fluctuate quite a bit. Yesterday I weighed in at 254.6, I believe. And, you know, I haven't changed anything, really. I've still been using the elliptical, still doing my calorie count, and my Nooming, all that. So it's just very important because if you don't weigh yourself every day and you see that, you know, your weight didn't change at all or it went up a week later, it didn't really, it just fluctuated. So a lot of people can get discouraged if they don't see the number move or if they see it move in the wrong direction, but really the day before it may have been lower and you just didn't weigh yourself. So really important to just weigh yourself every morning.
Absolutely. And you have to remember too that like how much water you drink affects it, whether or not you're getting enough protein, which I think has been my problem lately is I haven't been hitting my protein goals. You know, we've kind of been on this like tour of things I want to eat before I can't eat them anymore. Which has been somewhat detrimental to the weight loss, but I think there's the mental health component to remember too. And another part of that mental health component is just remembering that, like, it's normal to see the chart or the scale do a little bit of this.
Yeah.
As long as the overall trend over time is on the downward, you're good. And that for me on Noom was really tough because I remember when I started Noom the first time. You know, it was the same as with Weight Watchers. The first couple of weeks, I lost a lot of weight, and I was like, "Wow, if this is weight loss, I'm on board. This is easy." And then you hit that first plateau or that first little uptick, and you're like, well, "What the hell's going on?" But you're also gaining muscle too. Like one thing I've noticed, and my internist mentioned this, was that you know I went down 2 pant sizes since I basically started this program. Now even like the small pants I never thought I would fit into, like fall off my butt. So like it's the change in the past year has been tremendous. Now have I fluctuated here and there? Yeah, absolutely. There have definitely been days where I'm a little bloated or whatever, for whatever reason, and stuff fits a little tighter than it should. But you know, the key is not to get discouraged. Again, we're not gym buffs. We're not, you know, nutritionists or doctors or anything like that. We're just 2 regular folks. So we're telling you like it is. And speaking of which, our topic this week is healthy alternatives. And I think if you Google that, you come up with like 10, 15 million hits on the first page. So we're not really breaking any new ground, but we want to put our own personal spin on it this week of, you know, things we've changed in our eating, drinking, that we actually enjoy. I think there are definitely some healthy alternatives out there that, I mean, let's be real. They either don't taste good, they're unpleasant,
or they're completely opposite. Like, we're not here to tell you, like, oh, you want Doritos? Well, your healthy alternative is an apple. Like, that's not
Right.
realistic for...
Yeah. It's like if you
Yeah.
go to a restaurant and ask for Dr. Pepper, and they're like, nope, but we got spaghetti sauce. Well, what?
or Coke with grenadine. That is not cherry Coke.
No, that's not cherry
Don't
Coke.
come at me with that.
So I think it's important to start off with a few basics just to kind of get a feel for what we're talking. And soda's a good one. Because soda, whether it's diet, regular, doesn't really matter. It's all bad for you. Literally all of it is bad for you. In some respects, anything carbonated is bad for you because it bloats you. If not your whole body, your stomach. It makes your stomach a little bit bigger because of the bubbles. And if you drink a lot of it, whether it's carbonated water or soda, your stomach expands and it can be painful. You get gassy. So limiting carbonation or eliminating it is a great alternative. But finding something to replace those beverages, that's been a real struggle, or at least it was for me. How did you supplant that soda habit?
Well, now that I think about it, I had a soda yesterday at lunch, and that could be why my scale went up. And now I'm upset about having that soda, but it was good. No, but I don't know. I just we try not to even have it in the house, and that really helps. And if we do have it, we only ever buy like maybe a 12-pack, maybe.
Yeah.
But just not having it around helps to subside that craving. If it's not in front of you, you're not going to have it.
And you don't have to quit it cold turkey either. I know when we first started Noom together, we knew we could have like diet sodas.
Right.
So we started with like the Coke Zeros and the Diet Pepsis, and you started to find some enjoyment in that. Zevia was one that we really liked, and it's got a lot of great flavors. It's almost a carbonated water that tastes like a soda. And what I found was, over time, those artificially sweetened or those, calorie-free sweetened drinks had a weird aftertaste, or just didn't taste right, tasted funny. And, I mean, there's probably some science out there that speaks to some weird after effects if you use a lot of aspartame or artificial sweeteners. We're not going to comment on that necessarily, because I don't think we know enough to say anything either way about it. But to me, it was a taste. I just didn't like the diet. I'd rather have nothing at all. And I think that really actually helped, break the soda habit. Was I transitioned away slowly. I mean, occasionally I'd have a regular soda, and then finally we just didn't buy regular soda. Right. When I go out to eat, I'd have regular, and then didn't do that anymore. Mm-hmm. And then eventually I just stopped ordering a drink altogether and just got water, and realized it's cheaper and so on.
And definitely limiting our eating out.
Yeah.
Maybe I could count on one hand the amount of times we've eaten out so far this year, aka January.
Right.
But we were goer outers, if you could say that.
That's an interesting expression, but I mean, it is true. We love to eat out, and that's how we put on a fair amount of weight in the first place. Is the rich, delicious foods you get at a restaurant. You don't know how much butter they use, or how much salt, or cheese,
and the refill of Dr. Pepper,
the free sodas.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to suck those down like they were going out of style, and they kind of are going out of style. So I mean, it sort of makes sense if we're looking at it that way. But that was the first kind of healthy alternative, was finding a drink to supplant a drink. And eventually you realize, I don't really like what I replaced it with, and I don't really crave the first thing. So you're really just transitioning your body back to water. We still drink other things. I mean, but 90% of the liquids we both drink now are water. I know I drink tea, whether it's green tea or Earl Grey hot, or for a long time I was drinking coffee and then decaf, and I finally kind of kicked that habit.
Now you're under the hot chocolate.
Now I'm on a hot chocolate, which has sugar in it. I need to find a sugar-free, but it's zero caffeine, and sometimes you just want a hot beverage. I get so sick of cold or lukewarm or room temp beverages. But I don't like drinking hot tea. I don't even like hot coffee. It has to be chuggable. The sad thing is there's a very short window for me to chug fluids, which we'll get into probably in a future episode after my surgery. But I guess, for you, what was the biggest struggle, like transitioning to a limited drink menu?
I don't think I really had a big struggle. I mean, I enjoy soda, but if I don't, like, being pregnant, I was so used to not having soda anyway. I really kind of cut all soda out with all 3 of my pregnancies, unless I had an occasional, like, caffeine-free root beer or whatnot. So it was never really a struggle for me. I do enjoy that fountain cherry Coke, and and I'll treat myself occasionally, or having a cherry Coke Zero, which I had yesterday. But now that I know it fluctuates my weight, no thanks. But I'm never the type of person that like craves a carbonated beverage. Like people drink like the carbonated water. Like yeah, they're okay, but I don't ever like crave it. Like oh, I need a carbonated beverage. It's like I'll just drink my water or coffee.
I think coffee for me helped me break the carbonation habit. Unfortunately, coffee screws with your blood pressure, which I have high blood pressure, elevated blood pressure, not quite like high blood pressure. I have at times had high blood pressure, but cutting the caffeine combined with blood pressure medication has really helped take the edge off there. And then, of course, losing the weight and getting heart healthy by doing cardio is going to make a huge impact as well. But so, I mean, it's very doable. I think I was intimidated because I was a big soda drinker. And milk. Milk was another one. I loved milk. We used to go through a gallon of milk in our house like nobody's business. And then this was a few years ago now, but my first high cholesterol reading, and I was like, all right, here's an easy way to do that. We'll switch from, I think we were buying 2% to skim. And I like skim, but eventually I was just like, I don't really need to drink milk hardly at all. And then I just have it with cereal now. And then with bariatric, you still want to get that protein in, but you need the low fat. And I discovered Fairlife, which I think is a great healthy alternative to traditional milk. It's still cow's milk. It's just filtered. And basically it raises the protein content, lowers the fat content, and takes out the lactose. I'm not lactose intolerant, but it is easier to digest, and it's high protein. It tastes great with cereal. It's nice in a decaf coffee when I've had it. And honestly, I kind of like to drink it. I've even dipped Oreos in it once, and that was totally fine. It was just like regular milk.
And their protein shakes are yummy too.
Yes, the Core
chocolate
Power
ones, yeah.
chocolate. Oh.
I had that for breakfast today, and I actually put a little in my coffee instead of creamer, which is another healthy alternative.
A little protein in that coffee. I mean, it's just delightful. It tastes like a chocolate milkshake.
Yeah, it's good.
I also like the I forget, Optimum Nutrition or whatever it is. They come in a little 4-pack. Those little protein shakes I've been getting to kind of...
Oh, yeah. I didn't like that one as much.
It's not as good, but it's fewer calories, and it does have a good amount of protein. Mm-hmm. It's easy to sip on because it doesn't taste so good.
I know that the Fairlife is like a milkshake.
Yeah, you just want to... chug
I chugged
it down
it this morning.
It tastes so good.
Half of it was in my coffee, and then I drank the other half.
Right? So, for those of us who have to sip, sometimes the more delicious option is not the best option, even if it's still a healthy alternative. You want to be able to pace yourself. And obviously self-control becomes an issue, and the last thing you want to do when your stomach's the size of a small egg is have to dump because you drank too fast or have a bubble that hurts really bad. And I've swallowed air bubbles that hurt really bad, and I think we all know what that feels like. I assume it's pretty much on par, but longer and worse. So that's something to consider. Another interesting alternative that we've gotten away from, but I remember doing this, this is probably before keto, or maybe it was after keto. I replaced all bacon with turkey bacon for a while. It is healthier. It's less salty. It's
is.
lower calorie. It tastes okay.
But bacon lovers out there, it's not the same.
It is not the same. It really isn't. I still like it. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't like it, but I would
Right.
much rather have regular bacon. And
Yeah.
if
But,
we're
I
being
mean,
honest.
an alternative for people who love BLTs like I do, not like him. Or him. I don't know which side you're on of the screen. He's over there, but his picture's over there. Anyways. But he does not care for BLTs, but I love BLTs. So what I do is I'll do like half regular bacon and half turkey bacon just to kind of plump the sandwich up. So that's also a healthier alternative.
And you can do it without the bread and make it like a lettuce wrap.
Yes, done that too.
That's really good. I remember when we used to weave the bacon with the turkey bacon and make those real thick BLTs. And I know you wanted to talk about this, so I'm segueing into
my bread.
the 45 calorie
Yeah.
Sara Lee bread.
Sara Lee 45 calorie.
It made good sandwiches. I mean, what was that
That's-
journey like for you? Because we were bread eaters too.
I love potato bread. That's really delicious. The like cottage home bread or something, it's always super, super soft and delicious. But when you look at the calories, like 120 calories for one slice or 150 calories for one slice, it is crazy. Because who eats one piece of bread for a sandwich? I mean, unless you do an open-faced sandwich, which is fine, and I've done that before as a healthier alternative. But I like a sandwich. So the Sara Lee 45 is 2 pieces is 90 calories, which is less calories than one slice of any other regular bread.
Yeah.
It is thinner. It's not as like moist.
It's really airy. It's smaller too.
Yeah.
But it makes like a good PB&J. The kids like it. It makes a fine grilled cheese.
Yeah.
See, I was kind of the opposite. I didn't like the white breads, the sweet bread. I really liked like the super nutty bread or the whole grain with like
seeds
as
in it.
much fiber as you could pack in it. I really liked the brownberry like double fiber or triple fiber, whatever it was. It was like 12 grams of fiber per slice. Because fiber is really good for you, but it was super high calorie bread. I mean, like you said, 120 calories a slice or 140 even. And the thing that Noom teaches you is like, if it has more moisture content, it's better for you because it's hydrating and it usually is lower in calories. So you think your veggies and your fruits. Dietary fiber is really important, but there are plenty of other really great places to get it other than bread. Not to knock bread. I love bread. I had some sourdough garlic bread with dinner tonight, and it was amazing. I made it in a cast iron. It was awesome. But sourdough is actually not terrible. I mean, sourdough is one of the healthier alternative breads. So, explore your options. The grocery store can be a very fun place when you're looking for more than just deals and you're looking for interesting nutrition.
I've also heard really good things about Dave's Killer Bread, which I think we tried once.
We did, and it was great.
So I'd like to try that again because I've heard really good things about that. And fellow Noomers out there, it is green, just like the Sara Lee 45. A lot of other breads are all going to be in like the orange/red category. Which it's fine, you can eat those, but if you're trying to save your calories and you want to do more green stuff, that's an option.
Yeah, and for those on the bypass program like I am, bread is just filler. It's really, you're probably not going to find yourself eating it in the future because there's not a ton
very
of
limited amount.
extremely limited because there's not a ton of nutritional value there. The biggest focus, of course, is protein and trying to make sure you're hitting those micronutrient and macronutrients, which you can get a lot of without ever eating bread. Same thing with pasta. I'm going to miss rice. Finding an alternative for rice, I think, is a big challenge because rice is very healthy, especially plain white rice or wild rice is really good for you. But
brown rice.
Brown rice is good. It's higher in protein. But at the end of the day, we all know what happens when you eat rice. It expands in your stomach. And when your stomach is tiny, you can't have that happening. So, sad day that I won't be able to probably eat rice anymore. But that's okay. I can still eat fish, so I can still enjoy sashimi. I might not be able to eat the nigiri. So, I think pizza. I mean, let's talk pizza, because we've struggled so much with trying to find a quote-unquote healthy pizza. And we have. And every time we're like, wow, this is actually pretty good. And then we go right back to ordering Papa John's.
Yeah, I did have that frozen, it's called cauliflower pizza. It's a cauliflower crust, and it's actually very good. And I kind of, what did I do? I added mushrooms to it. Like, I sauteed some mushrooms and put that on top. So that added kind of like a more, like a hearty flavor.
Yeah, it was a little more meaty.
Yeah, it felt a little bit more like there was more to the pizza. So that was a good, any kind of cauliflower crust or that kind of pizza is a healthy alternative. And also you can make your own pizzas with like pita bread, which we've done in the past. Mm-hmm. That was really good because pizza sauce is green for Noomers. And, you can get a low-fat, low-moisture mozzarella cheese, which isn't horrible. And yeah, and then whatever veggie toppings usually are probably the best, or like a turkey sausage maybe.
Yeah, turkey pepperoni actually was really good. The meats are usually going to be red for Noom, but you're
not
talking
chickens, fish. But who puts fish on pizza?
I put fish on pizza. Shrimp is a good alternative.
Chicken's a good one though.
Chicken's good. Even like a chicken sausage isn't bad.
Right. Yep.
Or like an apple sausage.
Mm-hmm.
I've done like sliced apple brat, and that was okay. That was yellow, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But you got to remember too. You're eating a very small pizza when you make it on a piece of pita. Or
right. It's like the size of your.
Yeah, and so it's
half
like
your head.
You figure it's smaller. You're using less cheese. You're using probably better sauce than you normally would because you're looking for low sugar. You're looking for good flavor. I like to make tomato sauce and then just use that for everything. It makes great lasagna, great pizza, great pastas. You can do so much, and you can then control what you're doing. Whether you make it with like actual tomatoes or canned tomatoes, it's still just tomatoes and water. And then you just add what you feel it needs to give you the flavor you want. And you can cook it down as long as you want. It has to go for, in my experience, at least an hour. But other than that, there's a lot of really cool things you can do just by making the stuff rather than buying it in a can or a jar.
Right.
So the other healthy alternative is cereal. And it's tough with Noom because everything is red.
There's no healthy alternative to cereal. But let's hear it. Let's hear what you got to say.
So any of your brands, any of your high-fiber cereals, even though they're red, they have better nutrition than your Captain Crunch.
But are they as
Count
tasty?
Chocula.
But are they as tasty?
To me, they taste better. Now, I do enjoy, on occasion, a bowl of Captain Crunch, or a bowl of this, or a bowl of that.
Oh, yeah.
But I love me some Raisin Bran. I love Basic
I know
Four.
you do.
I love Raisin Nut Bran. Even
Not me.
cornflakes with some honey on top. It's not bad.
It's got to be Frosted Flakes.
Yeah,
I'm a sweet cereal girl. I can't.
It
The most like the better one I can have is probably like Life cereal, but that has like sugar crystals on the inside, so it's not really healthy.
Well,
But don't come at me with
Life
that
cereal's
shredded
not bad.
wheat.
Shredded
I'm not
wheat is
doing
great.
it. No.
Oh, I love shredded wheat. The key with like a shredded wheat is to put cream on it or
And then
whole
it's
milk.
not healthy.
And then it's not as healthy, but it's
I'd rather
still
have my
tastes better.
Cheerios with my skim milk.
I do like Honey Nut Cheerios. Those are pretty good for you. Like the Be Happy, Be Healthy. Like it actually is a fairly even Honey Nut Cheerios. They're actually fairly healthy. That's why they feed them to babies. Not Honey Nut, but regular Cheerios. You can do a lot with cereal. So
Yeah.
breakfast is an easy meal, I think, to find a nice healthy alternative.
Egg whites.
Yeah, egg whites, lots of veggies in an omelet, or on an English muffin sandwich. It's odd because you wouldn't think of it, but like an Egg McMuffin at McDonald's, for those of you who work on the road, is actually not a terrible alternative to
Right.
some of the other breakfast stuff you can get.
Or
I
like
used to
gas
love the
station
burritos.
sandwiches too.
Gas station
if
sandwiches.
they're made with like an English muffin, that's not horrible.
We're lucky here in Wisconsin, upper Midwest, we have Quick Trip, and they have a lot of
Quick Trips are
English muffin
life.
sandwiches. Yeah, Quick Trip is great. Shout out to Quick Trip. You know, they have a lot of good food, but they have
Bosco sticks.
yeah, they have the tasty stuff, and then they have actually like some healthy stuff too. The nice thing about them is they've got a lot of fresh fruit available every day.
This is not a Quick Trip plug.
We're not getting paid to talk up Quick Trip, but like I worked on the road for a number of years, so like for me, trying to lose weight, especially on Noom, you know, I would get an apple, a green apple, because they were, you know, lower in sugar, and I would get a banana, and I'd get, you know, an English muffin sandwich at breakfast with my iced coffee with no sugar or cream added, and it would actually get me through the morning. And, you know, I also tried intermittent fasting in the morning, but the thing is I was on metformin, and that makes your stomach hurt.
So let's talk about something else.
Hey, Melt Off Podcast fans, it's me, Urza, master of the Melt Off Podcast, here to tell you about DigitalEscapePod.com. That's the website where we host all of our podcasts under Digital Escape Productions. We also have great blogs out there, including recipes and other things we talk about on our various podcasts. You can contact us directly through our website. There are opportunities for advertising and more to come. So check out DigitalEscapePod.com. It doesn't work, but that's an alternative you should consider if you're on the road.
Yeah. And then another one of my favorite alternatives, if we're going to talk ice cream, are the Yasso bars. Yasso bars. Sorry. I love them so much I don't know how to pronounce them. They have so many good flavors, and they're only like 100 to like maybe 120 calories each, depending what flavor you get. And they're just really good. The chocolate chip cookie dough one is really good. The brownie, I think it's like chocolate brownie batter or something, is really good. The salted caramel is really good.
Pistachio is really good.
No, it's not. But if you like it, it's good. For Noomers, it's yellow.
If you're a weirdo.
For Noomers, it's yellow, and all other ice cream is red and really high in calorie. Don't even think about going to Dairy Queen, because that's going to be your whole day's calorie.
Yeah. Even
So
if
yeah,
you get a
they're
banana split.
and you can get them at Target, which is also my favorite thing. So
and you can get them at other stores too.
Okay, yeah.
And some of the other stores have the flavors that are better, like pistachio.
Nobody likes that. Just kidding.
You know, Yasso bars were great. I mean, there's also high protein ice creams like Halo Top.
Or any kind of frozen Greek yogurt, really.
Yeah,
too.
there's a lot of good alternatives there. So if you'd like a dessert, the thing is you can buy like a super healthy vanilla and throw a little Hershey syrup on it. Like, yeah, the Hershey syrup is rad, but how much are you really dumping on there? I never put more than maybe a tablespoon, because I like to taste the ice cream.
Or those cinnamon apples that I made.
Yeah, that's...
Just heating up the apples with a little bit of cinnamon, with a little bit of
frozen Greek yogurt. Oh, man.
It's like you're having apple pie.
Or you put a little bit of honey on top of the Greek yogurt, especially vanilla. Oh.
We're going out of the healthy zone and into the...
But you got to treat yourself. You know, that's one thing I've learned.
Yeah.
Is occasionally you got to have those treats.
So, I mean, there's healthy alternatives out there for your favorite foods. And if not, like Urza Master just said, treat yourself. Don't withhold it. If you withhold it, that's when you're going to binge, and that's when you're going to fall off of, you know, your wagon, or, you know, end your journey because you don't think you can do it. But like today, I had a little bit of Doritos for lunch because they are my favorite, and I will never not eat a Dorito. You know, and treat yourself. If you ever watched, what's that show called? Parks and Rec?
Yep.
You know, treat yourself.
Treat yourself.
Everyone deserves it.
And that's very true. And it's not unhealthy to, like, take some, like, me time from your diet or your plan. Like,
right.
You know, the thing is, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Right. That's why I don't like calling it a diet either, because there's so many, like, crash diets, or when people are saying, oh, I'm trying to diet, it's like, no, I'm changing my life, and these are the foods that I'm going to be eating, and yes, I am going to enjoy other foods, and it's life now. It's not a diet. It's life.
And the thing is like, life has its ups and downs, and life definitely has its twists and turns. So, you know, being adaptable and recognizing an alternative, like, we all get invited out for lunch, dinners, with family, brunches, breakfasts.
Right. Don't cancel those things because you're nervous.
Right.
About what's on the menu.
And most menus these days are pretty accommodating. There's a vegan option or
right. Gluten-free option.
Gluten-free or something healthy that you can choose. And you don't have to eat sticks and twigs. Like, you can have a steak, a steak's actually pretty good for you, but like you can have like potatoes and noodles and stuff.
Right.
Like, there's nothing in the book of anything that says you can't. If it does, it's probably not the right book to be following.
Yeah, and if you're nervous about like portion sizes, ask to share with somebody, or get appetizers for the table, and then that's what you're having for your meal. Or you can ask the waiter for a to-go box right when you get your meal, so you can put half away to take home.
Yep.
And make sure you don't open it up and start eating from it.
That's a good one for bariatric folks too.
Yeah.
Like, they tell you in the program, like, just start practicing right away. Like, if you order a loaded baked potato for your meal, cut it in half, put half in a to-go container before you even start eating,
Right.
and then just mindfully and slowly eat your meal.
And I want to also let the listeners know that Urza Master has a thing where he says the quote from Friends, where he says, Joey doesn't share food. And guess what? Somebody's going to have to learn how to share their food.
That's going to be the hardest part for me. I can mentally overcome almost everything. The stuff I can't eat anymore, the stuff I shouldn't eat, the stuff that's going to make me dump. Okay, fine. Having to share a meal, like, literally,
we're gonna mix
divvy
our
up a
fries
plate.
together.
Oh my god! Oh, just
our
thinking
fries
about
are
it.
going to be mixed together in the middle. You guys, funny story, when we were first dating, I think we go to Wendy's or something. I take both of our fries and I dump them on the tray, and his face is like, why would you do that? And I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to eat as many as he is, so why not just share? Well, let's just say I've never dumped our fries on the tray ever again.
That was almost a break-upable offense. Like, Joey doesn't share food. But
Wendy's fries aren't even good.
Wendy's fries are fantastic. Don't you trash Wendy. Don't you trash Wendy. They're natural cut, real fries with sea salt. They are fantastic. The service at Wendy's, now, that's a different story sometimes.
McDonald's fries for the win.
Oh, God, it's just like grease with a little bit of potato in a form. I still like them.
Is it even
I eat
potato?
McDonald's fries. I don't even know. It could be styrofoam packing peanuts. I'm still going to dip them in ketchup and eat them. Hey, Meltoff Podcast fans. This is Urza Master with Meltoff Podcast, here to tell you about Sanctuary Woodworking. If you're a gamer by night and a workout person by day, the cool thing about Sanctuary Woodworking's gaming tables is not only are they great for interactive maps for Dungeons & Dragons, but you can also hang them up on your wall during the day. So when you're on your elliptical or your treadmill or others, you can watch that TV and distract yourself from your workout. Check them out, sanctuarywoodworking.com. And see, that's how they get you.
Yeah.
You got to look for those healthy options like actual baked potato. I never appreciated a baked potato until the healthy alternative was suggested on Noom. And I had just a regular ass baked potato with like one pat of butter, which is not a ton of butter. And it was glorious. No salt.
Baked sweet potatoes are my new fave. You
Sweet
don't even need
potatoes,
butter.
too.
You don't
need
need anything.
butter, nothing.
They're so good.
Oh, man. And they're great for you. Like, better than even, like, a plain-ass potato.
Yeah, that's the healthy alternative to potatoes, is sweet potatoes.
Yeah,
Sweet
and,
potato
like,
fries.
Sweet potato fries are garbage. I hate sweet potato fries.
The Alexia brand from Target.
Those are
really
okay.
good sweet potato fries, good onion rings.
Because they're
good
waffle
tater
fries.
tots.
Yes, their tater tots were really good. They have, like, a garlic and cracked black pepper. Those are good.
Yeah, healthy alternative if you need one of those sides.
I think they make a cauliflower tater tot, too. Or I've seen it at Target, because we live at Target, because this is the upper
You know, we
Midwest.
haven't been in a long time.
Oh, my God, I'm having withdrawals. I'm getting the vapors, not going to
I
Target
need
anymore.
Starbucks. The pink drink is green for all you noomers.
Starbucks. How about, being out and wanting, one of those beverages, like a Jamba Juice or Starbucks or something, or Orange Julius,
Yeah, just finding a lower calorie option on
Yeah.
the menu, really.
I love
yeah.
the oat milk, iced coffee drink that Starbucks makes.
That was good, the one you brought.
It's like 130
Yeah.
calories for, the grande size. It has a little bit of flavor, but it's not overwhelmingly, sweet or anything. And that's just the straight up. I don't complicate the order because baristas work way too hard for not nearly enough money.
Right.
And I feel weird tipping at a Starbucks inside a Target. Not that I won't or don't, but it feels weird.
But yeah, you know, like we said earlier, treat yourself.
Yeah.
Get Starbucks.
Get a Starbucks. Walk around Target and walk it off.
Maybe not a cake pop. I mean, unless you have the calorie in your budget, but...
Yeah. But hey, if you're wearing a Fitbit, or if you have a walking app on your phone, I know one trip to Target one time was damn near 10,000 steps for me.
Probably.
Like,
because we go, me, oh, me.
Yep. I remember when Linnea was little, we had just gotten Fitbits for the first time, and I wanted to beat you in steps because it was a competition.
Right.
So she was, I think, 3 months old. I was off work with her, and I took her to Target, and she fell asleep. I'm like, oh, I'm living up. So I walked up and down every single aisle on like a Tuesday morning 2 or 3 times. And like the Target people were kind of sick of me, but like definitely the older ladies who were like retired and shopping were looking at me like, oh, what a great dad. And then someone were probably like, is he unemployed? What a friggin' slacker. But I got my steps and I whooped your ass that day. I think I got like 80,000 steps.
Okay, how is this a healthy alternative?
Yeah, just make it a competition. It's a healthy alternative from having a Fitbit and not ever walking. But anyway, one healthy alternative I don't think we've talked about yet is the meat replacement stuff. We haven't done a ton of this, but I remember when like the Impossible Burgers came out, especially the Impossible Whopper. I ordered that at Burger King, and I was really surprised at how good it tasted. But it's really a misnomer when it comes to healthy alternative. It's still not exactly healthy. It's just an alternative. So I would say just be cautious.
Right.
You know, they have like those Boca burgers or the veggie burgers at the store. They're really not good for you. They're really processed. If you want a burger, have a burger. Like you can make a pretty healthy hamburger with really lean beef. You know, you
Maybe
don't have
only
to put
use
cheese
half
on
the
it.
bun.
Half a bun, or eat it without a bun and a wrap of lettuce. I mean, you can put some mustard on it, and you know, mustard's green.
Right.
Even if you want a little ketchup, like, you know, you can make a really good tasting burger and make it like, and we made them one time. It was like 240 calories, and it was a decked out burger, and it was
Right.
really good.
Veggies and all that stuff.
Veggies, mushrooms. I mean,
And just because it's a
mouth is
healthier
watering.
alternative, it doesn't mean, for all my calorie counters out there, it doesn't mean that it's low in calorie. It just means that, like Urza Master said, it's just an alternative.
just a better option.
Yeah.
You know, and pay attention to your nutrients too. Like, if you're not taking a multivitamin, you should. I'm just going to put that out
I
there.
probably
for everybody.
should.
Everybody should.
Start taking one.
Believe it or not, you should be getting most of your nutrition from food. It's very hard to do that. Very, very hard. Because a balanced diet is really hard to achieve, to get everything you need in a day. And a lot of the nutrients you can get from supplements these days are really well dosed and inexpensive, and will help you reach your weight loss goals by making it so that you don't have to eat, you know, every possible piece of the food pyramid at every meal to squeeze in as much as you can in like minimal calories and eat the same. Like the people who tell me they eat the same thing every day, it really bothers me because it's like, why? You could definitely be getting what you need by either supplementation or branching out and trying new things. You know, now don't get me wrong. Some people have to because of whatever, but for those who don't have to, know that you have options, because some people just don't. Some people don't realize that, like, you know, you don't have to eat salad at every meal to lose weight. You can do a lot without eating any salad. So, although a salad is a healthy alternative to French fries.
There you go.
I don't know. Are there any other like healthy alternatives like that we really like or that you really like that we should mention?
If you want like a chip, they're like a popcorn chip, Corner Poppers or something like that. I forgot the name and I apologize, but I can put it in the comments.
Popcorners.
Popcorners, thank you. Yes, those are a healthier alternative. There's still a lot of calories, but you get more for the calories. along with the Simply white cheddar Cheeto Puffs. You can have like 32 of them for like 140 calories or something.
Yeah.
So if you need that chip salty snack, that's a good alternative for me anyway. Or air popped popcorn, that's a good alternative. You know, if you add the butter and stuff and the salt, kind of brings it down a little bit, but it's still better than a whole bag of Doritos.
Yeah. That was one thing that really surprised me, is that you could eat a ton of popcorn for almost no calories.
And you get a lot. Like the volume you can eat for the amount of
You get a
calories
ton.
versus the 7 Doritos you can have for 140 calories. You can have like 3 cups of popcorn or something like that. It's a crazy amount.
And you can get like 0 calorie, you know, or put on like spices and herbs to it.
And you can do the
to give it
spray
some
butter.
flavor.
You can do the spray butter too, which is 0 calories, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not as good as real butter, but
You'd never think of that. Like, I always associated like popcorn with like movie theater, super buttery, oily, nasty, gross,
delicious, amazing.
I still don't care for it.
Splendid.
You know, one thing that I found that I kind of miss is like the real like sugary blended coffee drinks, and I've found that with hot chocolate, if you put a little bit of whipped cream on the top, which sounds like, all right, whipped cream, really? It's like 10 calories if you get the light stuff, 15 if you get the full flavor, for like a lot of whipped cream. So you can really like, and I think it adds a really nice cream flavor for almost nothing in calories. And it's very airy, and it's still got like, you know, decent nutrition to it. Like it's a little sugary, but you know, it's better than dumping sugar in it. And it's definitely better than adding up a lot of like fatty cream to it, or making it with heavy whipping cream or whole milk. You know, it's basically then just water with a little cream added, and then the cocoa powder. And again, if you get the sugar-free stuff, it's that much better. Hey, Melt Off Podcast fans, it's me, Urza Master, here to tell you about Oddities Emporium on Etsy. A great friend of mine and her boyfriend run this website. They have a lot of unique little merchandise out there. Great stuff for gifts for the holidays. Valentine's Day is coming up, so why not find yourself something interesting at Oddities Emporium on Etsy. Check it out. Which I need to get some. But I really have enjoyed that. Marshmallows too, low in sugar, low in calories. You know, that's something you can add to like apples and make a dessert, and it feels kind of decadent, but it's really not. Your peanut butter and Hershey Kiss thing, drizzle that over apple slices.
It's like you're having a caramel apple. It's delicious.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of stuff out there like cookbooks and just healthy-ish kind of dessert recipes or this or that or the other for any kind of recipe. Branch out, try something new. I remember I tried this soup. I hate soup, but I was on Noom and I made this like, I don't remember if it was some kind of an East African.
Was it the
soup.
butternut squash soup?
No, it wasn't the butternut squash. It was like a quinoa soup. Or couscous or something, and it looked terrible. Honestly, in the picture it looked nice, but when I made it, it looked awful.
The picture was probably fake.
No, it was probably somebody who actually knows how to cook. But I made it, and it was delicious. I really enjoyed it, and it was an alternative to just like boring soups or like a chunky soup in a can, which I don't really care for soup to begin with. But you know, branching out and trying just alternative foods or recipes in general can be a nice, healthy option. So,
yeah.
With that, I think we should touch on just our challenges and victories this week.
I agree.
I'll let you start that off.
Okay, great. Under pressure. Okay, so my first victory is actually something that happened tonight. I decided to dust off our Ring Fit that we have for the Nintendo Switch, which I have not used since before I got pregnant with Rowan when I was first doing Noom. And I was really proud of myself. I am taking a little step forward into my workouts. Not doing so much on I'm still doing the elliptical, but I need to branch out and do more core strength as well. So that was really fun. And I did it for like 15 minutes and it kicked my butt. So if you're not familiar with it, it's literally a ring that you have to like, you squeeze it at some points, you squeeze it above your head, you do squats because one of the remotes is connected to your legs, so it's really like a full body workout. I wasn't sweating or anything after, but because it was my first time, I really wanted to take it a little slower because I don't want to wake up in the morning sore. So, you know, don't push yourself the first day you try something. You know, like we've said before, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So building up your strength. So that was my victory, just getting that into my routine. I guess my fallback this week is maybe this past weekend we went up to Urza Master's uncle's cabin, and I was a little lax on my logging, and so I was kind of a little bit, I don't know, sluggish on Sunday. Like, I didn't log at all yesterday. Well, should I log today? Probably not. But I realized that I was kind of going down that hole and went back and logged my Saturday food, and then I logged my Sunday food, and I didn't get off track, and I think I have like a 82 meal streak or something on Noom for how many meals I've logged. So, you know, keeping that streak is a goal for me as well. So I was just a little bit disappointed in myself that I didn't want to log when that's really important to me to keep track of. So I guess that would be my
One of those
downfall.
thought distortions, right?
Yeah. What about you?
I don't know. I think I had more challenges than victories this week. One of my biggest challenges is getting out of my own head when it comes to surgery coming up and realizing, I think, not for the first time, but really acutely, that there are foods I'm not going to eat anymore, or not be able to eat in the quantities that I love to enjoy them in, which is a good thing. That's the whole point. But it's made me want to kind of binge before the liquid diet and binge before the surgery. And I think I've actually done fairly well.
I think so.
You know, I did have like a whole frozen pizza again, but it wasn't like a big, you know, stuffed crust, like fancy frozen pizza. It was just kind of a crappy one. We went out for sushi, but I didn't eat like a ton of like fried food and a ton of bad food. Like I had some soup and I had, you know, a lot of veggies.
Yeah.
So that was good. And then tonight we made spaghetti. I didn't eat 2 heaping plates. I had a very modest first plate, and I had a very modest little helping of seconds, which was, I mean, really hardly even close to what I would normally eat. You know, I ate a little bread with it, but it wasn't a ton of bread. It was like the rest of a loaf of sourdough, which was maybe like 2.5 pieces, all things considered. So, I mean, the challenge has been there, but I think there's some silver lining. And I feel at peace. Like, you know, I don't feel like I need to go back to the Chinese buffet and gorge myself. Luckily, we had the kids with us, so I think it limited me in what amount of food I was going to
So
eat.
Rowan started to get really crazy, so we had to get out of there.
And people loved it because he would scream, and it was great. Victory for this week, I think, has been I've been doing really well starting my liquid diet in the morning. I've done most of the week with just a protein shake in the morning and water. I did have a hot chocolate this morning. So I was tired and I need a little pep.
Still liquid.
It's still liquid, but it's sugary, and I'm trying to break that habit. But I think overall, I think I'm going to count that as a victory because that's really hard to do.
Good, you should.
It's super hard not to eat in the morning because like the first thing I want to do is crunch something. Like I want crunchy cereal or toast or something.
We're going to have to get like an ice chip machine that makes those little hospital ice chips.
That's a great idea. We do have crushed ice. I was thinking that tomorrow...
It's not the same. It's hospital ice.
Well, yeah, hospital ice is something wonderful. But tomorrow I think I'm going to try... Because I used to make these as a kid because bananas are cheap and we always had them. And blenders are cheap and we always had one. And we haven't used our blender hardly at all. And I'm going to be using it a lot after my surgery. But I want to blend up just a banana and some crushed ice with a little bit of milk, and it's like a milkshake. But it's healthy. There's no sugar. It's just banana, which is a sugary fruit, but there's good fiber in it, good nutrition. The milk is good with the protein. And then if I need a little bit pep, I can put a little whipped cream on the top, or I can add a little bit of Hershey syrup, give it a little chocolatiness. And it's still breakfast. It's still good. So I think that's something I'm going to have to do more of, because it's going to be mushy, soft, liquidy foods that I'm going to be eating for probably a couple months.
Yum.
Watered down scrambled eggs with no seasoning. Woo, that's going to be sweet. But I'm really excited for the results, and I think
it'll be worth it.
While Noom is something you can kind of still be a person on, somewhat bariatric feels like you're in a whole different genus, because you're eating in different ways than everybody else around you. But I think it's good to remind ourselves that, you do eventually get back to eating real food. That's a big thing to remember. But you also are now eating for fuel. And your body will begin to recognize that, your tastes change, and the results you're getting is like a life extension. You are literally changing your life and your anatomy so that you will live longer and healthier and have the quality of life that you want. It's not about fitting into a dress. It's not about, having a beach bod or anything. That's really not important. Being here for my kids, that's what's important.
Because I love you, Dad bod.
Yeah, it's like, I think that was when I was 18, that was a big concern of mine. Like, is anybody going to love me? And the truth is, it's not about the love. Is anybody going to have sex with me? It's true. Let's not mince words about it, because this is humanity at its finest.
We've only done it 3 times.
Exactly. With 3 kids, we've only had sex 3 times. That's by Jesus. But that's the reality. Is I think a lot of people who lose weight are obsessed with an image. Don't think like that. That's not good for you. Think about your health. How is your heart? How is your blood pressure? Is your cholesterol okay? How about your sugars? Are your sugars good? Do you have diabetes like I do?
Right.
How do you correct these things? How do you take care of your liver? How do you take care of your kidneys? If you can conquer all that stuff and be like, yeah, I got this with the way I live my life, you're in great shape, man. Even if you carry around a little extra poundage. All bodies are valid. Not everybody's built the same way, and that's okay. Everybody can be beautiful in their own way. I mean, look at me. I am stunning.
You are.
You can Pavlov yourself. So said this Facebooker. I occasionally watch her videos. I think she's a Wisconsinite too. Hopefully someday we're as famous as she is, so we can hang out, because she's a delight. But it's true. You can feel confident and beautiful and wonderful, and look however you feel like you want to look. That's totally cool, man. Work with your doctor, get your health right, and you can keep your head straight. So with that, I wanted to leave us on some kind of a positive note. Because truth be told, if I'm being real, I'm a little nervous about the surgery coming up. It's a huge lifestyle change, and I feel like I'm ready after 10 months, but I don't think anybody's ever ready for a lot of the big things they do in life. Ready to buy your first house, have your first kid, have your first marriage. Okay. Anyhow, when you get these outros, you're trying to establish some kind of a flow, some kind of a this or that.
Should we give them a topic for next week?
Let's do it. Why not? We never pick our topics in advance. We're going to off the cuff this one. Goonie Mama, what are we talking next week?
I honestly think protein. We talked a little bit about it this week. I think maybe kind of diving deeper into that. You'll be starting your liquid diet next week. I don't know if you told the listeners your surgery date or anything, but that's coming up. So Urza Master will be on his liquid diet, so we could talk about that with, if you lack protein in your diet, how you can include that more. That might be a good.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's go with that.
Because I know it's something I have to work on.
Yeah, protein is tough, especially if you're not a big meat eater. So
yeah, can't eat bacon at every meal.
Yeah, what a shame. What a shame. Well, with that, I am Urza Master.
And I am Goonie Mama.
And this has been the Melt Off Podcast, our 4th episode. We really appreciate you joining us. We are currently exclusive to YouTube, so if you're not already a subscriber, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us continue to deliver great content to you as often as we can. And kudos to you if you already are a subscriber. Drop us a like, drop us a comment with any thoughts you have or suggestions for us. We'd love to read them on the show and or apply them in our daily lives. And if you do subscribe, and you haven't already, check out our other shows here on Digital Escape Podcast. Of course, the Digital Escape Podcast and the Warp Core Podcast. We also have a new podcast that just started called Crit Starter, which is a short-form podcast about Kickstarters that you should check out and consider if you are looking to get into certain games. I really appreciate your time. Goonie Mama, anything to say to the people before we go?
Again, thanks for listening, and hope you enjoyed it. And if you do have any suggestions on future topics, you can always put that in the comments.
Thanks for joining and watching us melt off.
Bye!
Hey, Digital Escape Podcast fans, Melt Off Podcast fans, and Warp Core Podcast fans. If you're a fan of our shows, please check out DigitalEscapePodcast.com. If you'd like to work with us for any of your advertising needs, reach out to us via our website or hit us up on any of our social medias, YouTube, Facebook, etc. We'd love to work with you to develop an ad for your product, service, or business, and we'd love to have you on our show to talk about it. Thanks again.